All right. So I think this is what I'm going to start doing. Normally Monday through Thursday, I go live on Facebook, just on my personal page. Let's see, I've been doing Friday live streams for this is my second or third week. Um, Try to get some more subscribers. If you watch this and are interested in the topics that I talk about, please give the live or the replay a like. If you do like it, give me a subscribe. I mean, I've dropped a couple of subscribers for some reason. I was at 52 and now I'm just at 50, so I can barely go live. That could be a problem in the next couple of weeks if my numbers drop. And if you think somebody you know would be interested in having a conversation about the topics that I talk about, share it with somebody. Because I do talk about some important stuff. First off, I do my advertising, just like I do over on Facebook. If you're a local and need some mechanical work on your vehicle, my primary job is Quality Automotive and Brewer. Mechanical work, oil changes, tire rotations. It's coming up. You can, as of now, you can put on studded snow tires. So if any of that is what you're into or need, you can give Chris a call at Quality Automotive, 922-2043. My second job is at O'Neill's Power Equipment in Holden, and we service snow blowers, riding lawn mowers, weed whackers, chainsaws, side-by-sides, golf carts, all kinds of outdoor power equipment stuff. If you need your machines worked on, you can give John a call. I believe the number is 989-5300. I'm not 100% got that down pat, so please Google it first. O'Neill's Power Equipment in Holden. And I have a link in the description. Hopefully it's clickable, because that's been an issue. But that is a link to my Patreon page where I put out free Bible studies, messages, breakdowns, all that kind of stuff. I think the most recent one was yesterday. It's like a page and a half, 2 pages, something like that. And so the topics of late is the primary one is the warming center issue. In the local area last winter, in the last few winters, we've had 3 warming centers: the Mansion Church, the Brick Church, and Bangor Area Homeless Shelter. About a month ago, 3 weeks to a month ago, Bangor Area Homeless Shelter announced that they will not be opening this winter. And then, like a week after Bangor Area Homeless Shelter made their announcement, the Brick Church announced that they weren't going to be opening because they didn't get their paperwork in on time, which is unfortunate. So between those 2 warming centers, there's, I want to say, 60 less spots for people to sleep inside. I do know that the Mansion Warming Center is expanding the amount of people that they can bring in, which is good. I hate to see people on the streets because I've been there, I've done it, I've slept outside in the freezing cold. There's ways to do it. It's just not fun, obviously. The secondary thing I want to talk about is the government shutdown, which I don't want to get political, but because of the shutdown, Manna Ministries, they serve a meal Monday through Friday, and because of the government shutdown, they're not getting their stock of potatoes. I'm not sure if that's just for supper or if that's for the food pantry or both. So between Mana Ministries and the Brick Church, if you want to help them, donate to them, whatever, I'm sure you can look it up. Mana Ministries or Bill Ray, the Brick Church. There's definitely a need for help. And now I want to get into the topic of intentional communities, tiny house intentional communities. I've been preaching this topic for 13 years. I came up with that idea in 2012 while I was homeless, and now it's evolved into kind of a faith-based leadership, tiny home intentional community for the homeless, the unemployed, kind of giving people a place to, I call it settling out. There's a time period after being homeless where you have shelter, where your mind, your body, and your soul need time to settle out. And that's what I want to be able to provide people. It's also going to be a place where these people can learn how to grow their own fruits and vegetables, raise their own livestock, how to build structures, or at least have a hand in building, their own tiny house. And the thing that aggravates me, and I've mentioned it a lot on my Facebook live streams, is the fact that the city of Bangor had, last time I checked, $20 million earmarked specifically to help the homeless get off the streets, provide services. And the problem just keeps getting worse and worse. So my wife and I have lived in tiny houses pretty much the entire time we've been together. And my first tiny house, plus the tiny house plus insulation, cost $2,500. In order to provide shelter for those, say, 75 people, get 75 people off the streets at $2,500 a shelter, it's going to cost $187,500. If I had just 5% of that $20 million that the city of Bangor has, I could get a lot of people off the streets and we could start making some progress. I'm not asking the city of Bangor to give me any money. I'm not asking anybody to give me any money, but it takes money to make this happen. The reason I advocate for this is because when I was homeless, if I had been given this opportunity, I would have jumped at it. I would have gone 100%, 110% into it. But that's not the case. I obviously can't do it myself. I'd never have the money to be able to get even a portion of that many people off the streets. I pretty much talk about the same stuff every day, and it's because I care about the people. My wife and I worked at the warming center at the mansion for a whole winter, every night, for check-in, except one when we were extremely sick. We did at least one overnight a week. And Terry's probably going to need more volunteers. If there's any prayer warriors out there, pray for the Brick Church, pray for Mana, pray for the mansion, pray for the people that are on the streets. Or that more people are going to be on the streets this winter than in the last 3 or 4 years. Trying to think of what else. We're hoping next spring to have pretty good sized garden. We've got beans, red columbine, evening primrose, sunflowers. I grew some sunflowers at the community garden this year, and we were collecting the seeds from the flower heads. So hopefully we can grow a lot of stuff. We've collected seeds from all the food that we've gotten from either the store or the food pantry that we go to. Tomatoes, all the different bell peppers. Hopefully going to buy some chickens in the spring. I'd like to have enough chickens producing where we can kind of either give away or sell some eggs throughout the summer. And I don't want to keep them over winter because they're probably not going to produce eggs. So once they're done egg production, for the most part, we're going to butcher them and, obviously stock some, maybe sell some meat birds, the meat from them anyways, just for another means of income. Hopefully the money we make through the summer into the fall, we can get a greenhouse so that the year after we can get a head start on our plants and our seedlings. Maybe even sell some seedlings. I mean, we're probably going to have a lot of extra seedlings in the spring. I've been working on the hostas, trying to put them in the right spot because they want morning sun, of course. We've got some wild blackberries, but I haven't had good luck transplanting them or making more plants. We had a drought this past summer, so we didn't get very good blackberry production. We don't have like a water supply, a reliable water supply. We just catch our own rainwater, and that's what we use to water the garden. Is there a way to see? What's that button? Live chat. Nobody? Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your private. Yeah, whatever. Can we hide live video, mute, flip, create highlight, lighting, close? How about top fans? Anybody? Be the first in the leaderboard by showing support. Try sending a live chat or super chat. That's the other reason why I wanted to start going live on YouTube, is so that if somebody wants to help this intentional community, they can do so by giving a super chat. I'm not entirely sure how they work, but it gives me something to put towards the greenhouse or some tiny houses or whatever. The property that we're on, we may not be able to support that many tiny houses. But once the property that we're on now becomes productive and self-sufficient, producing its own water, electricity, paying for the taxes, then I think we should be able to expand. As far as I can tell, we may have the option to use 10 acres out back, but I don't know about that yet. We have to get the property that we're on productive first. Sunday, not sure what time yet. I'd like to go live on Patreon, because I have done that once and it seemed like it worked okay. I want to get a little sign that I can kind of put maybe on the here, like a subscribe button. Something I can put over the headrest so that people will see the subscribe and, oh yeah. I don't even know who the one viewer is, but it's either my wife, my mother, my grandmother, maybe John. I don't know. And they gave me a like. Awesome. But I'm going to get to practicing for winter, shoveling. One thing I did want to mention is that if You know somebody that drops off wood chips here in Orono? Just remind them that this isn't a place to just dump wood. I had to move 3 pieces of a tree to park where I am to get the good chips. It's not just a wood waste disposal. There's a sign on this tree over here that says chips only. That means no logs, no branches, no sticks. It's wood chips only. It makes my job more difficult because I have to, like, as I'm shoveling, pull out sticks and branches and whatever. The logs are easy. I can just dig around them, but yeah, I'm gonna get going here and then probably chat with you guys before I leave, get done. Let's see, gonna move some stuff. I don't get it. It's funny, the camera angle, well, not really angle, but what do they call that? Field of view is different on YouTube than it is on Facebook. Well, I've got one more stop to make. I've been trying to think of ideas for merchandise. I was thinking about like some framed Bible verses or some colored photos. My wife does, finished colored photos, finished diamond art. I thought about doing some like tin can, cutting out like stars and shapes and making it like a hanging light or something, but maybe even doing some like wood toys, like kids' toys for Christmas. A friend of mine's got a 3D printer, so maybe I'll get him to print out like some stuff. I don't know. I'd have to design something for him to print, but it wouldn't be that hard, I don't think. Some 3D printed, just a book, chapter and verse, like 2 Corinthians 5:17, or speaking of Bible verses, I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that in a couple days, actually. Let's see. Proverbs was where I was. Reiterate the book of Acts of the Apostles, has 2 spots where it references the community that I'm talking about. John, Acts chapter 4. So Acts chapter 4 verses 34 through 37 says, "Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many were possessors of lands or houses sold them, and brought the prices of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. And Joseph, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite, and of the country of Cyprus, having land, sold it, and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet." So it talks about what I'm talking about, like the intentional community. The early Christians had to live this way, and it's getting to the point where all poor people are going to have to kind of live this way to get by and make it, instead of living paycheck to paycheck in their own little shelter. Not own little shelter, but the normal process for a homeless person is you're homeless, you get in somewhere, you get access to services, they put you on either a voucher program or want to put you to work. And yeah, people are still going to work in this intentional community, but not in the same manner. They're not going to have to work 40, 60, 80 hours a week. It's going to be, there's certain hours that have to be met, and you might only have to work a couple hours a day instead of 8 hours a day. Some people are going to have, like me, child support issue going on, where they've got to work out in the community to make enough money to pay for child support. Because I've dealt with it. They've taken my license several times, because there's been times in my life since getting out of homelessness where I haven't had work, and because I'm not working and not paying, they would suspend my license. But today has been a blessed day. I hope you have had a blessed day. I'm going to continue on my journey, and I will post a video or short later showing what I do with these wood chips, which I normally do when I get wood chips. I go live, and then on the other end I show the progress. But I have to go because these people are loud. How do I do this? That? Sure you want to stop streaming. Okay.